Hello and welcome to Lord Fenton Gaming Reviews Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm your host Lord Fenton. In this review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we're going to ask the burning question: is this worth playing or is it not? As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more reviews like this. Do not forget the notification bell to be updated and more. Let's get on with the review, shall we? Time to go over the graphics. We'll get to the performance issue later on, but for now, this looks pretty good, especially up close and, of course, personal. This is in 1080p, 60 frames per second, which is very nice. So, developers did a great job of so far of the looks of the game. Other than that, for Nintendo Switch, that's not a bad game graphically. So let's go over to the next section of this review. Let's talk about the gameplay of Pokemon. It's very simple. You fight Pokemon, you try to add them to your team, you try to defeat them, you try to have the perfect setup. That's what I really like is it makes you think. So for example, I'm facing this steel type Pokemon and also another type it's weak to fire. That makes me think like saying, okay, I should use my fire type. Also, if you want to, you can add it to your team, so this way you have another type of Pokemon. That's what this game's all about, is building the perfect team so you can kick some serious butt. And I like that quite a bit. Time to go over the story. I actually do love the story in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There are 3 paths you get to choose from, and I like that quite a bit. 2 of the paths are very good. Now the 3rd path gets its own section. Still, you have Nimona constantly trying to battle you because she's your rival. You have to go through a gym, so this way you get your gym badge, and your Pokemon definitely improves every time you get a gym badge. And another thing, there's even the Titans. Those were really fun to do. All of them do converge at the end, which is a good thing. So I'm going to go over the next part of the review is actually the Team Star story, which I love the most. Out of the 3 story branches in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I do feel like Team Star was the best story branch in the entire game. Now, in the previous game, TL was a bunch of jerks basically. Now in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I absolutely love Team Star once you gone through the deep parts of the story. Yeah, they started off as jerks, but later on as you get further, oh my goodness. That's all I'm going to say. Another thing I did love about the Team Star storyline is if you pick the right type of Pokemon, you could take out 30 in less than 10 minutes, which was also good. And after that, what I'd like the setup was you face off against a certain crew boss, which was nice too. Then you got a backstory, which was even good. So out of the 3 stories in Pokemon Scarlet Violet, which is the Titans, the Victory Road, and of course Team Stars, Team Star is the best story in the entire game. The next part of this review I'm going to go ahead and talk about is the sound and music. That is when you're not playing it on streaming or anything else, like for example YouTube. You're playing on your own time. It is actually really nice music. As for sound, you can hear the ocean, you can hear your Pokemon jump, and other good things. So devs did a great job of that. We'll get to the downside of the music later on in the review. So let's go over to the next part of the review, shall we? Let's talk about the battles. First of all, the Pokemon you're facing. I like the looks of many of them. Many of them are cute, many of them are mean, many of them are alright, many of them are serious. With the fights, you get to decide what Pokemon should I use to defeat the Pokemon that's ahead of me. For instance, this nice flyer, it's about to get annihilated because it's a flying type with my ice type Pokemon. And I like that. It makes you think the battles in this game out. So this way you don't just trudge through one Pokemon, then beat the game and then get bored with it. No, you have to select your team and make sure it's the right one to use. So it's a great thing in this game is fighting the Pokemon, and it's well worth doing so. Also, it's nice to capture them too. So you add them to your arsenal to beat other Pokemon in the game and also beat down trainers like Nimona, for instance. The UI in this game is really crisp, really clear to use, very simple. What's a good thing about it is you can also inspect your Pokemon, for instance, like for example Chubbs here, and we could either heal him or better yet switch out some of his skills. Yes, you could do that in Pokemon Scarlet Violet without it being permanent. The other older Pokemon games were you're forced to be permanent, and that sucked. You can also easily get to your box, get to the picnic, the Poke Portal, anything else. So the UI is very clear, very easy to use. Also changing out your skills in Pokemon Scarlet Violet with a click of a button or so. Next on this list of good stuff in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the map system. Very easy, very simple to use. It shows you the symbols. Also, you access your Pokedex in case you want to see how much Pokemon you fought, how much you caught, how much until you get your nice reward. Just click on a book and boom, you see your Pokemon, see if you could check it out. Also checks out your profile system. And yes, any of the pictures you have taken will actually be transferred there on your profile. It also tells your enrollment date, money, league points, and the badge stats. Like for example, I have all 8 badges. Map system's easy to mark destinations, get rid of destinations. Once you arrive at the destination, the marker is gone. So this is a very good mapping system. As for your ride in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, even though they look different, they function the same. So you start out by walking on your own 2 feet. Eventually you get a very nice ride to ride around the world, which is very good and fun. You get good things like, for example, glide, dash, and other good abilities. All you need to do is start completing the battles in the Titan storyline in order to get the wonderful features. With the ride, you could go almost anywhere in the world, and that is a very good thing in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The world of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet I really do enjoy. There's different environments, like for example, there's the desert, lake, an ice area, and much more. The starting area is nice and peaceful, then eventually you branch out from that area into the world. Yeah, as you explore, you get to inspect Pokemon and see if you're in the right area, or if you're in the wrong area, you go back to a previous area that you could level up and grind in. As long as you do the storyline, you definitely improve your character and also a chance to explore more parts of the world. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I really enjoy exploring the world, and it's a great and wonderful thing. There are other playing activities you could definitely do in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. For instance, you could also face off against these trainers. Yes, they're now optional. Not like Pokemon, of course, Sword and Shield, where as soon as they see you, they'll attack you. This time they're optional. You get to fight them, and if you fight a certain amount of them, you get a nice reward from TMs or even other things too. So this is a great way to keep from being bored. You explore the world. There's also, if you do the schools too, that's good too. You get some nice rewards by going to class, answering right questions, completing exams, and much more. So you never get bored in Pokemon Scarlet Violet thanks to these side stuff like, for example, trainer battles and, of course, classrooms. Let's do go over the Terra Raids. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Terra Raids are great ways to get Pokemons with certain types that are normally not their certain types. Like, for example, this ground type has a Terra type of ice, which is very nice. You get some nice materials out of it too. You can also capture these Pokemon if you want to add to your team, so this way it'll spice up your team very nicely. So I feel like overall these raids are great and fun to do. Another great thing with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are the picnics. You could play with your Pokemon, like for example throw the ball at them. You could talk to them, could definitely clean them up, which by the way will boost up the relationships with you and the Pokemon that you clean up itself. Another thing is you could make some food, and yes, food in this game I felt like was much better to do than the previous game, which was Sword and Shield. You make yourself a nice sandwich, and if you make it right, then it'll boost up certain things like, for example, egg power, raid power, item drops, spawn rate of certain Pokemon types you're looking for. So for instance, if you're looking for a certain normal type Pokemon that you grind for experience points, well, make yourself a nice ham sandwich, and boom. If you do it right, then that Pokemon will always spawn more than the others. So picnics are great in this game, helpful, and you should do it once in a while or do it a lot of times so you maximize your relationships with each and every Pokemon team member. So we'll go over the next topic in this review. So you're thinking, okay, I've beaten the game. Is that it? Oh, no, it is not. There is so much you can do in post-game. You can visit the new area. You can do a certain thing at a certain place, not spoiling that. You could find any trainers that you did not defeat. Go ahead and defeat them to get certain items from the person who's telling you, I'm looking for X amount of trainers you defeated to get a free item or so. You can do Terra Raids beyond the 4th star. Another great thing is you can fill out your Pokedex, and if you want to, go to the other Pokemon game and have fun there. There's plenty of things to do in post-game, and that's a great thing. Let's go over the online features. For example, you could trade with other players online. You go to other players' worlds, even if one player has Scarlet and the other one has Violet. You get some mysterious gifts from via codes, which is good. You can also get gifts from the internet, which is nice too. So online feature, there's so much you could do with it. And yeah, you can even battle against each other, Pokemon team versus Pokemon team, which is a great thing. So the devs did a great job with the online portion of the game. I do feel that the controls in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are a mixed bag. Camera angles are a little bit funky at times when you're in and out of combat. Another thing that's pretty bad about the controls is the delay time when you're doing the star barrages, when you try and summon Pokemon. Yeah, there's like delays for that, unfortunately. Now, the good part is when you walk around, when you explore, when you pick up certain items, that is pretty nice. Even the driving part, the controls are really good too. So the controls, they should have some improvements, but this is what we do get, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and talk about performance issues. It is really bad. Now, if there's too many people on the screen, the character's walking slowed down as if it's in an old time film, which is not good. If you decide to move around, yeah, they'll sometimes a little bit be a bit blocky, unfortunately. I believe Pokemon Scarlet Violet optimization tends to be mishandled badly, which sucks. Unfortunately, there is a downside to the music and sound in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There are exactly one or two tracks in the game that could get you copyright strike or DMCA if you decide to casually stream it or casually post a video on some kind of website like, for example, YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, there should be a streamer-friendly option for that music. Unfortunately, there is none. This is 2023, everyone. I mean, heck, the Saints Row 2022 game has a streamer-friendly option. This game doesn't, and that sucks big time. Now, next up is the bugs and glitches. At times, there are some in the game. One got fixed recently due to the fact there was a story blocker. Now, for some of the terror raids, sometimes the bar doesn't go down until you actually go ahead and use ability movement, and of course it shows you the bar down, which is a glitch. They should have done was delay it by either 2 or 3 weeks, or at least release it halfway through December, so the game will be much better play. Instead, there are some bugs and glitches out there, and that is terrible. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, there are so many clothing options. You could change your top, you could change your pants, you could change a whole bunch of other great things so your character looks different than everybody else. That was a great and wonderful thing, right, everyone? Well, guess what happened with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? And here we go on the downgrade issue. Now you ask yourself, what is missing from this shop on all the clothing store in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? And don't worry, glasses, there's separate glass stores too for your eyewear needs. It is the pants and of course shirt. You're wondering why is that? Well, you're kind of stuck into the school phase kind of thing with lack of customization. It was a huge disappointment. At least they give me the option to turn my summer uniform all black like a certain singer in a certain band. No, instead, there's a lack of customization with the pants and the shirts. As for the other stuff, I felt like Pokemon Sword and Shield did it much better than Scarlet and Violet, and that should not happen that way. The final issue I do have with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a lack of moving the camera around. You could rotate the camera, you could change, of course, the camera from normal mode to selfie mode. You can have filters, but you cannot move the camera itself. I mean, you cannot zoom in and out. It's a terrible feature. I'm disappointed in it. I wish there was much more better features in the camera option, so this way you can send much more better pictures on social media. But instead, we got this garbage camera app in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. What is the final verdict for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Here it is. Buy it at 10% with the score of 8 out of 10. Despite its problems, it is a very good Pokemon game. Those of you who are just looking for a game to play on Nintendo Switch, I would wait until it's 10% off. Now, if you're a casual Pokemon fan or hardcore Pokemon fan, get this game ASAP. This is it for my review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thank you for watching, and have a great day or night, and do please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet guides just like this. If you like what you see, then pick my suggestion on the upper left hand corner or YouTube suggestion on the bottom left hand corner. Have a wonderful day or night, and do enjoy the view.